enhanced taste and exactly, they're replacing like a lot of the sugars and carbs
Sure.
because everybody just pays attention to that box. They
Right.
don't look below it.
Calories and
But
carbs and sugar. They're looking at that a lot.
yeah, we've been trained to calorie count. So, only got 30 calories, 2 grams of carbs. I'm good, no sugar. But in reality, there's other ingredients. Nobody can pronounce the first word on it. So they're just like, okay, I guess it's good. And so that's kind of where the whole filler aspect comes into it. It may be no sugar, but yet you're eating neotame. You're doing things like that, which you don't even know about.
Oh man. Okay, I got a good one. How about MSG? All right. A lot of people talk about MSG. Some people argue it's fine. Some people say it's the devil's excrement. You know what I mean? Like, so what do you think? Like, where are you at with that on MSG?
Yeah, monosodium glutamate, that's like the proper term. I've done a lot of research on it. Even back in the day, I used to work at a health food store, and we've actually had like non-GMO powders, brands that would promote it. And it's absolutely, I think it's a no-go. I've done the research, the side effects. This is more something that's been established, and it's very substantial evidence that it's bad for you. Um, the whole concept is things like MSG and just preservatives. We can make the food last longer, but you're eating something in a can or a bag that doesn't go bad for a year. But why? We got to stop and ask ourselves that. It's convenient. We don't have to go to the store a lot, but the whole MSGs, preservatives, they're not necessarily the best choice for you. If you look how we ate 500 years ago, our ancestors, they ate a lot of fruits and vegetables, lean meat. They didn't really have all these artificial things, and they were healthy. They lived. They had their roar. So that's kind of my whole stance on it. And definitely cut it out. If you're asking me if it's good or bad, definitely get rid of it and avoid it at all costs. But it's not something where if you have a little bit of it, you're gonna croak or have a heart attack. Don't think that. It's one of those things where long-term buildup. The analogy I'll create for you is simple. Think of it as tobacco. The FDA said that it's fine 40 years ago. Tobacco, let's just puff, and everybody was doing it. There are no side effects. And now we know 30, 40 years later that it causes cancer. So that's like the whole concept of my message is that MSG for a year or two may not be bad for you, but if you do it for long durations of time, it could be just like tobacco to you. And you won't even know it, though. At least people who smoke tobacco, they can say, oh, well, I knew this was bad for me, you
Right.
know?
Have you seen those old commercials with doctors smoking and they're like recommending smoking?
Yep.
That's such an interesting thing. I was watching a movie that I think it was like Food Matters or something like that. It was a documentary and it had a lot of commercials from the 1950s where they were basically propagating things like the microwave oven and Hungry Man meals and TV dinners and so on and so forth. And I think to me, once I watched that, I realized why there's so much of this food product industry rather than legitimate natural foods going around. And that's because it was this brand new, convenient thing that made everybody's lives easier. And I don't think there was any ill intent in the start. I don't think that they were trying to like kill us and make us dumber and fatter and sicker. I think that's what ended up happening. But I think that marketing really, really convinced us that this convenience, this ease of use is going to be much better for us in the long run. What's your take on like the marketing from then driving us to where we are now?
Absolutely. I mean, marketing, capital, money, it sells. If you have the capital, the budget, it will do that. I agree with you 100% on that fact. I think that if you look at infomercials, what are they? Convenience. Convenience sells.
Right.
Why do microwave dinners sell? Convenient. I don't have to cook. I don't have to chop things up and put them in a little container. I could just simply take the top off, 5 minutes, I'm done. Canned, open it up, and I'm good. So I think that by marketing to convenience, people said, wow, my life is easier. And some of the ill side effects of it is that now we have to be concerned with, our health. Some of the ingredients that when they were making it, they may have not even thought that they were bad for you. But through the whole convenience factor, now we're starting to realize that some of these things aren't necessarily the best option.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I like how you mentioned, like the thing with toxins in your food. or food chemicals or whatever it is. It's such a small thing. It's that small dose over time that accumulates and builds. And it's not like you're going to eat MSG or I can't pronounce what it is.
Neotame, yeah.
Neotame. It's not like going to eat that one time and just fall flat on your face.
Exactly.
But over the course of a year, 5 years, 10 years, then all of a sudden, like your mom or like my dad, you're being rushed to the hospital and you have no idea how you got there.
And you're saying, I was never a smoker.
Right.
I was healthy. I watched what I ate. I exercised, but you really don't know the cause. And the scariest part is that doctors aren't trained to be necessarily nutritionists.
Sure.
They'll give you a diet, but the whole thing is RX. Take this right here. That's better. This will stop your cholesterol, blood pressure. But in reality, it doesn't even really need to be there as long as you're eating what you need to eat and exercising, just doing the basics, maintenance work.
Yeah, it's so powerful, man. How simplicity sometimes wins over complexity on health and fat loss and everything like that. Well, let's talk a little bit about like some fat loss stuff because I know you were a competitive
Yeah.
bodybuilder. You certainly know how to get people ripped and in shape. But one of the things that we see with toxins is that when you take them into your body, the lipids accumulate the toxins and store them on areas usually away from the organ. So it usually manifests as that lower belly fat, your butt fat, your thigh fat, your arm fat, and so on and so forth. Do you notice that when people remove toxins from their diet, that fat actually starts to disappear quicker?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really like that. I want to talk about it. Basically, what I've noticed, me myself as an experiment, once I started becoming aware and going more natural, I noticed that first off, I had a lot more energy, and I'm going to explain what I did. I noticed that I actually gained some muscle strength by doing a lot of vegetables, like noticeable to the point where I was like, what's going on here? I'm not doing anything different. I didn't necessarily lose a ton of weight per se, but my strength and muscle, where people were looking at me, and I actually weighed the same, but like, you look like you put on 10 pounds of muscle.
Sure.
So I did technically lose body fat and I increased muscle. So to answer your questions, you will lose the weight depending on what your goal is. For me, I was trying to just maintain and see what removing toxins would do.
Right.
So if you did both, followed a diet to burn fat and remove toxins, you absolutely will notice the change rather fast.
Yeah, I've been really, really holistic more lately. Like I removed almost all dairy products. I removed almost all gluten-containing products, and I eat really natural and wholesome, anyways. But just by taking out all of like the boxed and packaged foods, I noticed it was significantly easier for me to see my abs and for the love handles to shrink a little bit and the thigh fat to shrink. I mean, I could still go out there and have like monstrous cheat meals, and if I just stay away from those things, as long as the cheat meals are with high quality foods, they're not going to do as much damage.
Absolutely. I mean, and if you're just conscious of like gluten free, you're gonna see that you're burning fat, and just by doing that solely and not trying to put on muscle, which isn't the case. I was trying to put on a little bit of size. You're gonna burn fat, and it's rather effortlessly, but you just got to make that conscious effort when you go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested in something. So, do you share an approach to detoxifying? Is there an approach that you share to detoxifying in your program and with your coaching clients?
Yeah, absolutely. My whole approach is I don't feel that, we're shaped by our beliefs on what we can do, if we can burn fat. And I think that we can't believe that someone in a white coat is the only person that can dictate our health, whether we're cleansed, detox, whatever it may be. So I took the approach to learn this myself. And with that, basically it's a 4-step system. So step 1 is, what is this? When was it created? What is Neotame? When was it started? What does it do? Step 2 is what foods are found in it. Step 3 is the harmful side effects. And step 4 is a solution. And by going to the solution, if you've been going with these foods and take out the gluten, take out the aspartame, take out all the fit, it's a natural detox. Right. You naturally will cleanse your body, especially if you're getting a lot of fruits and vegetables, things that are more alkalized and are providing nutrients for your body. You will detox and you will cleanse yourself of toxins just by making the swap. The great thing is you don't need to follow a strict diet. Right. You can just simply replace it.
Yeah. Well, I like two things about what you just said there, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. Like, what I like is your approach. The 4 steps sound really reasonable to me because it sounds like you're just identifying what these substances do. It's almost like you're just bringing here's what we know, and like you said earlier, like the FDA even said that, and then you're
Yeah,
saying like, check it out, these foods have this stuff. And so then you're saying this stuff causes this, these foods have that, which means these foods cause this. And if you want to fix it, eat these things instead. Right?
exactly.
I like that, man. That's really cool. It's a really simple approach. So I feel like too often we put our like opinions of maybe what worked for us or our clients or whatever ahead of the facts, right? Just like when we insert this into human biology, what is the end result? Well, it can cause these bad conditions to happen. Okay, these foods contain that, and these foods don't contain that, but are similar. So eat these instead of these, right?